Hi everyone, how's it going? My name is Liam, and I've been very good friends with Rob Parker for the best part of about 8 years now. I first met Rob when he first came to Taupo, and he started working at Taupo Tunnel Skydiving, and pretty much from then we'd started flatting together. We were living together, we were working together, socializing together. We pretty much lived out of each other's pockets for about 5 or 6 years. It's good times, man. Mrs. Parker, you're a lucky girl. I'll look after him. So I guess that my job now is to tell some tell some stories, try and embarrass Rob. Um, so the first one that comes to mind would be so. First of all, I'll give you guys I'll give you a picture and show you what happened that night. So here that is. Okay, so a little bit about that. So the night started out, and I guess we were drinking at home, and then we decided to go to town, the usual, at 1 o'clock in the morning, and we were at the Element Bar, I guess a backpacker bar in Taupo. And then all of a sudden, oh no, I'm not. You know what? I'm not going to tell that story. But you know what, Rob? I bet you're sweating bullets right now, aren't you? But if anyone wants to hear the rest of that story, just ask Rob later. I'm sure he'd be thrilled to tell that. So I guess some that I can tell, or that Rob wouldn't mind me telling, would be this one time. God, this was a while ago. Back maybe 5 years ago. We decided that we were going to take up ground launching. For those of you who don't know what ground launching is, it's I guess it's like paragliding. You take like parachutes, and instead of jumping out of a plane with them, you stand on the top of a hill, and as you run down, it inflates, and then you lift off, and then you just ride down the hill or the cliff or whatever. So Rob and I had these two pieces of crap skydiving parachutes, and we thought that's all we needed. So we drove about an hour and a half away from here, out towards Napier, and we found this pretty big cliff, like it's got a couple of 100 meters, like straight drop. Eventually, it took us all morning to like find our way up there. But when we got up there, luckily, the wind had dropped. Like there was no wind. I was smoking a cigarette, and the smoke was just going straight up. Like there was nothing up there. Thank God, because I'm pretty sure like if either of us had actually, like I know we tried to launch, but if we'd have actually taken that last step off, I'm pretty sure whoever did that wouldn't be alive today. So Rob, I think you agree with me. That was pretty stupid what we were up to, but it worked out well. Until the wind switched 180, and then it was coming from the other way, and Rob and I decided to call it a day. But to get back to the car, we were gonna try and ground launch down the hill that we walked up. So there's hill and then cliff. Cliff's a no go. We went to run down the hill. So I went first with my 120 something canopy, and I got it inflated, and then just ran down the hill with the parachute above me. Did not take off, and like ran down. I made it there, and I turn around and I watch Rob start, and he gets about halfway down, and he doesn't quite follow the line that I take, and he comes to about a 15-foot drop. Luckily he sees it and he stops, thinking no. But then he looks up and sees a parachute above his head, and it's inflated, but it's definitely not pressurized. And he sees this and must have thought, yeah, and then took the step off the cliff, and I watched that dude tumble down about 15 foot of rocks, and then landed a pile at the bottom. And I thought the dude had killed himself, so I rush up to him, and luckily, like he doesn't hardly has a scratch on him, amazingly. But that's definitely something that I'll never forget, and it was a fun afternoon for me. Probably not so much for Rob. And Rob, while Rob was living in Taupo, he did a couple of seasons abroad. He went and did 2 winters, New Zealand winters in Sweden. The first trip that he did, his first night back, We had Rob's back, so we had a party. And then at 3 o'clock in the morning, someone had this fucking great idea to siphon the petrol out of our car, and then soak toilet rolls in it, and then light them on fire, and then kick them around the yard, which was kind of fun until there was a pilot called Lucky, who we were hanging out with, and he took a kick at this toilet roll, and it hit Rob straight in the face, square straight on the nose. Bounced off, but then because it's soaked in petrol, his whole face was on fire. Now there's about 6 of us stood by that saw this, so we ran over to Rob immediately to help him by rugby tackling him to the ground, and then stomping on his head to try and help, of course. So I don't know what was worse for Rob, the fact that his face had been set on fire, or the fact that there was 6 guys slapping and stamping his face. So then a year later, Rob goes back to Sweden again, and then his first day back, we throw another big party. Like, Rob's back in town, and I don't know, the party dwindled, and about 3 o'clock in the morning, we decided that we were going to take out an inflatable boat onto Lake Taupo, which is just down the road. Now, I say an inflatable boat, I don't know what you guys are picturing. This is not an inflatable boat, okay? This was a kid's toy, okay? Like, it fits like one adult just, okay? 5 of us got in this boat with our bottles of rum because we were pirates, and got this down to the lake and jumped in. And I guess Rob had been flying, and Rob was pretty jet lagged, so Rob fell asleep in this boat, and the other 4 of us were paddling around like we were having a great time, and we came across a real boat, like unmanned. There was nobody on it. It was just like tied up just offshore. So we thought, we're pirates. We'll climb aboard and see what we can salvage. So as we start climbing on it, I guess we puncture the inflatable boat. Pretty easy to do. It wasn't that good quality. And as we're climbing on, we notice that it's going down fast. And so we try and wake Rob up. We're like, Rob, wake up! You have to wake up! Like, get out the boat! We meant get on the real boat. But I guess Rob waking up, all he hears is get out the boat, and in kind of a panicked tone. So he jumps into the water and starts swimming ashore, which is about 150 meters away. Now, when we skydive above Lake Taupo every day, and we are warned that in winter, if we land in the lake, we have 4 minutes until hypothermia sets in. That's why we have life jackets, and there's not a good chance that we're going to be conscious by the time the boat comes to rescue us. So Rob jumps in and swims 150 meters, and we're freaking out. And he gets onto shore, and we're yelling at him like, Rob, take off your wet clothes, run home, get warm, because we're worried about the dude. And because Rob's deaf, he stood on shore going, what, huh? And he couldn't hear us, so he jumps back in the lake and swims another 150 meters back to the boat, and finally makes it there, grabs onto the boat, and he's like, what did you say? We're freaking out, like, Rob, what are you doing? Get back, go home, like, get off, go and get warm, go to shore, like, take off the wet clothes. I don't know why we didn't say come on the boat where it's safe. Instead, we made him swim another 150 meters back to the shore. So he makes it back, he takes off the wet clothes. We find trails of these wet clothes on the way back. We made it back. How we made it back is another story. Rob can fill you in on that, but eventually we get back to the house, and Rob is in my bathtub with our flatmate's girlfriend, pouring hot water on him to try and warm him up. The dude was completely naked, shivering, and again, I was a little bit worried that dude was going to get really ill or potentially die that night. So yeah, good times. Thank you for your time, everybody. Enjoy your night. Mr. and Mrs. Parker, congratulations. Rob, I feel that I've been fairly tame on the stories. So if you ever find yourself in the position where you're at my wedding and you're having to recall stories about me, please remember this and have mercy, because we've been through some. It's been fun. So yeah, thank you. I love you, bro. And I guess this is the time I'd like to invite everybody to toast the newlyweds. So if you could like to raise a glass, I haven't got a glass at the moment. Let me just go and grab a drink. So yeah, to Mr. and Mrs. Parker, thank you.